Hello, welcome to Footy Corner TV. I'm Sparks. Make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and do all that good stuff. We got Dom with us. How are we, sir?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, yourself?
Yeah, I'm okay. A bit stressed, but okay. Yeah, general life, isn't it? But
it's been that way. It's been that kind of day for us both, I think, today, hasn't it? Really?
yeah, it definitely seems that way. So yeah, I don't really know why, to be honest, but it's just seems to have gone a bit mental, and not even for the same reasons that's normally happens. It's normally a Christmas rush and whatever, but it's like an everyday rush really rather than Christmas rush. So yes.
Well, at least at least you didn't have what I had, which is I nearly missed my train in a peculiar sort of fashion because Princess Anne's motorcade came past and I couldn't get across the road to a train station.
What's the motorcade for?
It's a police escort that royals have when, or senior royals have when going through to prevent them getting stuck in traffic. There's a police escort which closes roads so they can go straight through. So there we go. So you can't get across the road as a pedestrian or as a car until it's passed. I mean, it's quite quick, 2-3 minutes. Like they close it very late. So it doesn't cause the biggest congestion.
Yeah.
But when you're pushing it for your train, you could do without it.
You just like, for the love of God, do not need to see that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I made it with literally seconds to go.
No, definitely no need to see that at all.
But there you go. Not every day you see a royal motorcade, so you can't see much, to be honest. You just see the police outriders and a blacked out, silver Land Rover.
We got Khalid in. Welcome in, sir. How are we? Make sure you're making the hitting the like and subscribe, and I'm sure you're subscribed anyway. But yeah, share it out as well if you could, please. That would be great. Any kind of messages in the chat, any kind of questions, then drop them in there, and we'll try and. As I usually say, if I'm late getting to the punch, it's just because I haven't seen the little flicker of blue that's on the blooming thing. Seems really small, but there we go.
It's not easy to spot, actually, is it? To be fair,
no, it's really when I've got it on small screen as well because I've got the chat up. It's even worse. But I kind of like it. I like to kind of get rid of the chat. Not like I've just done because I've just done it completely different way. But yeah, I like to try and get rid of the chat and just have it as a half screen, so I can still use my other screen. So hence I look for the little blue dot, which is not nice really. But there we go. Sunday then.
Well, what can you say about Sunday? I mean, I thought it was a good win for Brighton at Nottingham Forest. I assume that's a game you mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely the only thing that was happening, wasn't it? So,
oh dear me. I mean, look. Overall, look, Arsenal didn't play brilliantly. It was, an average performance. Not overly surprising because Chelsea are a good team, and I think Chelsea deserves some credit for playing that well with 10 men.
Well, so
yeah, exactly. And they'd had a tough week, but it was an average performance. But what was interesting was Arsenal still getting a point away from home, which I think, in the context of the league, is going to be a very good point. They did it without their starting choice centre halves. They did it without several other players, including, probably their first 3 choice strikers. And look, injuries happen. I'm not making excuses or anything like that, but they did it without these players. Martin Odegaard, the captain, obviously was only available from the bench. There was lots of things. Chelsea have injuries too, which is why I don't think it's an excuse. But you look at it and go, Chelsea, the informed team in the league, us and them, away from home, tough end of a tough week. It's a good point. What is disappointing is probably, given we were against 10 men for so long, it kind of feels a little bit disappointing not to have got all 3. Yeah. But as I've been talking about, I think it's really important that we don't overreact and go, "Oh, the league's over. Chelsea are going to win the league." They didn't beat us, given all that either, right? And they were at home. And I do think it will prove to be a really good point. We still have a 5-point lead at the top of the league. That's 1 point more than it was before the international break. And we've, had a couple of really tough Premier League fixtures. So Overall, I think you can, it's not the end of the world by any stretch. But I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it was the end of the world, but like you said as well, very disappointing that we didn't take all 3 points. I think as Khalid says,
Khalid, yeah.
that's the worst we've seen us play this season, and we got a point against a title contender after a long hard week. Yeah, I mean, they were stressful games. Obviously, didn't really have to travel far, so you can't really use the travel thing. But
No,
like zero rotation, really. Yeah, so I think it was stressful. If it was me, maybe rather than Arteta, I'd have probably rotated a bit more for the Champions League game.
I would have too.
But he obviously wants to take it seriously. He wants to top the group. I mean, there would be naysayers and such like that basically said, you're not taking it seriously, you're not doing whatever. So in some circumstances, you just can't win it anyway. But in the context of everything, 3 games and we dropped 2 points. I wish that we'd have dropped the 2 points in the Champions League and not in the league. But as he said, I do think that that it's a good point, albeit it doesn't feel like a good point. It feels like it felt like a loss. I have to say, it felt like a loss to me. But I'm not being overly dramatic. But my problem is that I look at certain games like that City have got, that Chelsea have got, and I just don't see them dropping any points through those kind of fixtures. And we have to look over our shoulder, but we just have to take care of ourselves one game at a time as well. So it's certainly not the end of the world yet. So but yeah, we just have to keep professional performances in the next games, don't we, really?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think when you get a result like that, you want to try and bounce back with a win, and Brentford's an opportunity. But just touching on what you said about the Champions League, I would have rotated too. I wouldn't have wanted to see Timber getting 3 games. We touched on Brentford. I think he does need a rest, despite how well he's playing in that game. But I understood why he definitely wasn't rested against Chelsea. It's a title contender, and you've just lost Saliba and Gabriel for that game. But I would have rested a couple more as well against Bayern, but he rested a couple more and we don't win the game. You know what happened. So I understand why he didn't. But also, while I would have happily gone win, draw, win, that would have been the ideal week is 3 wins. But if you had to go, that's your results, which one you're picking?
Yeah, if you have to sacrifice one result.
Yeah, because you want to finish, you can finish in the top 8. It's finishing 8th is the same as finishing first in this group phase of the Champions League, essentially, because you miss that. You get the bye in February, sorry. So, but what it does do, I think, is give him some real license to rotate more heavily in the coming games. I think
he
probably.
Will,
I don't know. I mean, he's got Club Brugge.
It doesn't feel like to me he's going to rotate for anything.
Sorry, I think some of it's going to depend on. I thought you were going to keep going for a bit longer there.
No, it was a question. No,
yeah. No. That's why I took a quick gulp drink. But it's why I took a gulp drink. I thought the question would be long. I think I you don't know. I think some of it's going to depend on the fitness, right, of who's fit, who's available, and who needs minutes. But I think there will be. I think there has been an element of trust that has been shown at times this season with Mikel Arteta more than in recent seasons, partly because of circumstance. You look at Brighton. I think he treated it as a must-win game and made a lot of changes because he trusted that side. So you'd like to think against Club Brugge, you'll see 3 or 4 changes. What you really want to see is 2-3 changes a game, right? Trossard comes in, Martinelli comes out. Next game, Martinelli comes back in, there's 1 change. You might do Timber for White. A couple of changes here and there, with maybe one of your bigger players coming out sort of 1 in 5, just to sort of freshen it up a little bit there and rest and protect them. But what I think is more likely is a couple of changes with Brentford, all in against Aston Villa, and then maybe 4 or 5 v Club Brugge, but I don't expect to see massive changes because you've got the likes of Gyökeres. I mean, I don't think Saliba will be fit for Brentford, but probably could be back for Villa. By the way, Arteta was talking today, but you also have to take a pinch of salt everything he says in the press conference, understandably so.
He did say a matter of days, though. I mean,
he did.
I don't think that was exaggerated. I think that's to allay fears of a meltdown in the fan base, I guess, to basically get behind their team as well.
And everything that's been coming out since he did it was instantly, it's days, it was a small knock, it was a precaution, it was, it was always that. But you always have to.
That's what we want as well, right? Isn't it?
I
mean, obviously, if he's not altogether there and he felt something, and we don't want him to play. Which game was it that he played for like 5 minutes?
Liverpool.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that the same people criticising Arteta for not risking him against Chelsea in a title deciding race. There isn't such a thing in December, by the way, or November. I can't remember if it was the 1st of December or not. No, it can't be November. There isn't such a thing. We're the same ones criticising him for playing against Liverpool. What do you want? Like, which is it? It's fine if you say
they just want something to criticise about. Yeah, that's the problem.
Exactly.
I don't buy into that. I'm an Arsenal fan, mate. I don't buy into. Yes, I'll criticise if I think that a substitution's not right. Then I'll criticise it. If I think that he's done something that I don't necessarily agree with, then yeah, I'm going to criticise that as well. But if he's protecting our players, which is all we ask, really, protect them, and then they're not out for large periods of time, then that's what we want. We want that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I understood why he played Saliba at Anfield, but I was critical of it because I wouldn't have done so. But I can understand why he did it, which was he's our best of one of our best 2 defenders. He's big game Liverpool at the time, flying with 4. I think it's 4 from 4 or whatever. Where they went on that 5-game winning run, didn't they? To start, But I didn't think it should. I didn't think we should do it. We have a squad for a reason and a very good one, and I felt that was a time to make the change. But I understand why he didn't do it. I think that's understanding why something is happening. I think is important, but I wouldn't have done it. And I was very supportive of the fact he didn't do it against Chelsea. I felt it was the right decision. If he's got a risk, you've got the squad for a reason, so use it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't have the 2 main centre backs there, which is no real excuse for anything. But it's I guess it's a slight reason. I guess if you're going to go uber critical. And rotation-wise, it's attacking-wise, rotationally, we haven't had the facilities to actually rotate at all. So it's been like 1 out, 1 in. Everybody, we've got a full side in that position, apart from a striker, because we didn't have a striker. Hopefully, Gyökeres gets back and he can bag against Brentford. But yeah. I see a lot of people actually, with what Khalid's put here, boasting about the squad depth, and I see particularly Chelsea fans basically saying, "Oh, they got the best centre back pairing in the league." Well, neither of them played.
So,
and we were worried before the game because neither of them played. So and justifiably so, I guess, at the end of the day, because we couldn't defend a set piece. And yeah, I mean, it's funny how set pieces count when it's everybody else, and there's no media outcry and uproar and whatever, especially when it's against Arsenal. But as soon as Arsenal do it, it's crime of the century, apparently.
Yeah, because I'm seeing loads of stuff about United are now set piece FC. Now they've scored as many from set pieces as us. Have you? I've seen loads everywhere. Oh no, sorry, haven't seen it anywhere. Sorry, nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and rightly so, right? It's not a crime.
Yeah, set pieces are part of the game. They're just part of the game. It's as simple as that. And people just jumping on for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's just absolute nonsense that and it had the desired effect apparently, because obviously that Sunderland moved the advertising boards and did whatever, and it's also getting in the ref's head as well to not give set pieces in certain locations and to not do this and not to do that. So it had a desired effect. But I thought it was quite funny from the Sunderland game, to be fair, because I think we touched on it before, but we scored 0 goals from throw-ins, and I think they scored 2, and they actually restricted themselves. It's just bizarre, really.
I mean, I don't mind that sort of stuff. Right? It makes me laugh, right? It makes you smile. I think it's part of the game, right? It's like the old days where the away changing room had no hot water, shades of Athletic.
I think Portsmouth still doesn't.
Yeah.
They had a refurb at Portsmouth, at Portman Road, and
Portman Road's Ipswich.
Sorry,
Do you
not
mean
Portman
Fratton
Road.
Park?
Yeah, Fratton Park. That's it.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you meant Ipswich or Portsmouth.
No. I did mean Portsmouth. I just got it wrong. Yeah, they basically had a refit in both of the dressing rooms, and then before the game, they basically went in there and just went and wrecked everything.
Nice.
And just so it was the same old crappy.
But I don't mind that sort of thing. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, by the way, we're playing Brentford, who have that right back, K Mode or whatever his name is.
Komodo.
Yeah, him.
Komodo, yeah.
Who I always sign in Football Manager, funny enough, because he's a quality right back.
He's up there on most best dribbles of the league, I saw earlier.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Football Manager isn't real life, by the way, but
yeah.
But can you imagine if we moved the advertising hoardings?
Yeah.
By the way, ahead of Brentford.
Yeah.
But I actually thought that,
maybe we will, but I doubt it. I don't think we do that. And to be fair, ours are quite close to the pitch anyway.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So I don't think it would really matter, to be honest.
But I do actually genuinely think we cope relatively well. I don't necessarily think William, Saliba, or Gabriel might make a massive difference from that set piece. It was a stupid sort of free kick to give away that then subsequently led to the corner, etc. But I thought the bit we missed the most, funny enough, was Saliba's passing out from the back and that calmness he would have brought. Hincapié I thought looked relatively calm. Mosquera less calm, but understandably so. He's a 21-year-old or whatever he is, and while he has 80 La Liga games, the pressure at Arsenal is different. Hincapié, obviously, the pressure at Arsenal is different to Leverkusen too, because you're a bigger squad with bigger expectations. But, he went through that title-winning season. I thought, and he's that bit older and captain of his country and that sort of thing. So he I thought, really sort of helped Mosquera settle down. But I thought it was a passing out from the back and that calmness that we kind of missed, and that allowed us to get rattled a little bit. I think that's where we missed Saliba more than anything else, actually.
I think we missed Gabriel more for that, to be honest, because Gabriel was a bit more in your face and he's a bit more physical with it. But
I agree, but I mean, as in I was expecting Saliba to play and therefore kind of factor that in.
Yeah.
Whereas Gabriel,
I don't think that the ref helped the situation with. Was it 3 yellow cards in about 12 minutes that literally just allowed us to do nothing? So we Zubmendi got one. I think Mosquera got one.
Yeah, and was it Timber that got the other?
Timber, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Timber.
So I think they were the first 3. So you're basically going, well, you're stuffed and basically getting kicked off the park.
Oh, was it Calafiori actually?
I don't think he got one of the first ones, did he? Maybe. But
it was one of our fullbacks anyway.
Yeah, took him off at half time, and Lewis Skelly was a bit
got booked 8 minutes later.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't get sent off for it. I mean, Taylor was crap for both sides, wasn't he? It looked like he was wanting to even it up.
Yeah. I mean, Cruzeiro rightly sent off. By the way, I thought that it was late. It was over the top. It was studs first. It was a red card for me.
I watched it. I had it on my phone because I was in a restaurant at the time, and I was like, I think it's a bit harsh. And then I watched it again, and I was like, "What?" It was the jump that did it for me.
Yeah,
where he basically went 2 feet off the ground, and then he went. So I think he jumped and then landed and then propelled himself forward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what you're doing there, mate.
And it's not his first rodeo on this sort of thing either. He has a history of in the big games sort of going over the top, to be blunt. I think he's a quality player, by the way. But
he pushed Moreno over completely in front of the referee, and the referee didn't do anything. But he booked Subimendi, and he, all right, he stopped him running, but he didn't grab his shirt and stop him going or anything. He just literally he kind of scraped his shirt, and he went. Was it Enzo went over like a sack of
Yeah.
doo doo?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Arsenal got several bookings for stopping transitions, right, and stopping the break
Yeah.
quickly, and you tend to get
Yeah, I agree. But so did
so did
Cucurella
Chelsea, right?
was doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and he was just letting it go and letting it go and letting it go. And I mean, he was in WWE mode at some points.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if he was actually, and Anthony Taylor's a very experienced referee, but I wonder if he was reacting to the crowd a little bit.
I don't know. I know that they don't. Chelsea don't like him very much, but I don't think he was reacting to anything. I think it's his normal Anthony Taylor thing, and I think he basically swings with the gameplay. So basically, he'll go, "Oh, I've done such and such to them. Now I need to do something to them," and that's what seems to happen quite a lot with him. I don't think he's necessarily bad for anybody. I think he's just bad for
No,
everybody.
yes, I agree. I mean, I don't. He's not. I mean, I don't always agree with the Michael Oliver narrative entirely, but it's not a Michael Oliver where you can sort of look at it and go, "Oh, he's never given a penalty against them, but he's given 12 against me." And I don't necessarily buy that conspiracy theory, but you can see how the stats could easily do that. I don't
Yeah,
think that I don't think Anthony Taylor's
I
really
don't think
saying,
it's like that with him.
"No, I don't either."
I just think it goes in waves, and he literally he'll get to a peak with one side, and then he'll go, right, that's enough of that, and he'll go on to the other side, and it shouldn't be that way. It should just literally be a case of, well, I've got a bit of balance.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think he's just I don't think he's great for anybody.
No, and like I say with the Michael Oliver example, I don't necessarily buy that conspiracy theory, but you can see how it comes together. Whereas, as I say, stats wise, Anthony Taylor, you're exactly right. He goes in waves, and it's when it's your turn to be at that wave, it's not gonna go well for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to tell her the stinker versus Chelsea and Fulham. Yeah, I questioned last year because we had Taylor for Liverpool home and away last year.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
And you're like, what? That's just weird. Surely you shouldn't get both home and away ties.
I think the only way you would do that, like, right, obviously one of the bigger games of the season. I know we weren't brilliant last season, but we were still the closest to Liverpool. The only way I think you get both of those games if you are undoubtedly the top referee in the country and you are clear by a margin that you might get both, because you do want to put your best referee on big games like that. But I don't think Anthony Taylor, who was regarded as one of, if not our top referee last season, was miles clear of anybody. Mostly because I don't think any refs stand out right now in this league.
No, I don't think there is a standout, is there? I mean, the new refs that are basically I don't know the names of. Obviously, they've not done anything to stand out. So you're like, well, yeah, all right, they haven't.
That we can't even remember their names tells you everything, right?
Well, exactly, right? And it's like, Howard Webb must be spitting because he's like, they don't know your name. Get yourself out there. Put your name out there, mate.
What you need to do, you need to make a howler so I can defend you on referee watch, and then everyone will know who you are.
Oh, that guy, man, infuriates me, and I just don't think the refereeing will get any better since while he's at the helm. To be honest, I just don't think it will.
No, I didn't mind him as a ref, to be honest, Howard Webb, but I think I don't. But I mean, I don't think refs are ever popular, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, and that's absolutely fine. But I never mind him as a ref, but I always did worry about his appointment for PGMOL. To be honest, I don't know why. I just had a horrid feeling the second he was appointed that it wasn't the right one for, no good reason. Did
you hear Clattenburg on him? Did you hear what Clattenburg had to say?
No.
Now I don't know how true this is, because obviously you've only got Clattenburg's word for it, because and whether he's bitter because he didn't get it or whatever it is, I don't.
He got the Gladiators gig. He can't complain.
Oh, my God, it's so pony, that thing. Yeah.
I agree. My children love it,
with his
but
fake tan on.
yeah. My children love it, but yeah, it's,
Oh God, I can't even. I'm glad I don't have to watch it. But yeah, he come out and basically said that that Webb is really arrogant, and he's talking about money and stuff like that with people, and he shouldn't be in the place where he's controlling anybody, because it's just not. He just can't handle it. He just can't handle that that somebody else has a different opinion of him, of a situation, and I don't know how true that is. I don't know whether that's a true reflection of it, but it looks like it could be, doesn't it?
I was going to say, like you know, no one knows how true it. Well, some people will, but there's no way we can tell how true it is, right? But when you look at that sort of vein throbbing on, when when you look at those clips of the show, you can kind of see how that could well be the case, right? Because
I'm expecting him to see him in the stands against Brentford.
oh, well, he could be. I mean, he
You
doesn't.
know,
He
the
doesn't. He
Bournemouth
doesn't.
one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see, yeah, but it's yeah, AGV B5. Welcome in, sir. How are we? Make sure you're subbing to the channel and subscribing and liking the video and sharing it out as well. We'll put Dom's channel in the description as well. Make sure you're following that as well. Do you think it's hard for refs to not have some sort of unconscious bias with all the social media content available 24/7?
Yeah, I think it is. It's the same for the players, right? I think unless you completely shut away from it and don't go on social media, don't read the football websites and what have you, I don't think it's possible to not. I also think even if you don't do that, I think you kind of know when you've made a mistake. Like I know when I've made a mistake at work, it doesn't happen because I'm amazing. But I know. I mean, in all seriousness, when you've made a mistake, right? And it will be on your mind. And I wonder as well whether that impacts them. When I sent this player off last time I reffed Arsenal, I shouldn't have. The player then goes and makes a tackle, and you think, oh, is that a red card? Oh, no, I got it wrong last time. I might give a yellow instead. I think it's human nature, right? There is no world where referee is always going to be consistent, because some things are always going to be subjective. And me and you can look at the same incident in the same position in the same way and come to a completely different conclusion on what it's like. And that's going to be the same for the referees. I think there are areas where they need to be more consistent and a little bit more honest. But I mean, from the referee's point of view, no, I think like with the players, it's impossible to not have that there. They are human beings at the end of the day. And I'm not going to hold them, responsible for that. Nobody can help it.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think again we mentioned this from a Sunderland game where Overlap was doing certain things, and it's not just referees, it's managers, it's coaches, everything kind of plays into the same hand, right? So you basically go, well, the media have been on about this today, we better work on this. Or the media being on this, we better work on that. Or we're going to move our advertising board, even though it's going to do absolutely nothing. But it's not just that, is it? I think the biggest problem I find is that they're also matey, right? When you're off the pitch, right? I mean, if you're like that with a member of staff, they're going to be, he's my mate, I can do what I want, that kind of thing, if they're that kind of person. Whereas if you go, I try not to go on site with guys because I try to detach it from, firstly, I want them to take the responsibility on site, and secondly, I want them to see me as a boss rather than as a workmate, a colleague sort of thing.
That bit of attachment's important.
Yeah.
Managers have spoken about that when they made the transition from player to manager, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How difficult it was to then come away from that and try and be the boss.
Yeah. So you basically have to detach. And the way that Mike Dean, I mean, I don't know if you saw his interview with the Overlap, or not an interview.
Is this
but
the
he was
one where he said he didn't want to undermine his mate in the VAR?
Oh no, that's an old interview, but he basically did that and basically said that he didn't want to make his game worse because he had a couple of howlers, so he didn't want to make his game worse by correctly sending somebody off. You're like, right, okay, but in that situation, when he's done that interview, and Anthony Taylor's seen that interview and gone, oh, I screwed up, and I didn't award Chelsea this. He then goes and referees for Chelsea. Maybe he's got a bit of bias towards them. That I'm not saying this particular game. I'm just saying in general that maybe you know, by putting that kind of thing out, maybe he does have that when he actually referees them. I don't really
Certainly
know.
for the game or two after, I think it would be human
Yeah,
nature, right? I mean,
yeah.
it really would.
But again, I'm not saying that in the Chelsea Arsenal game whatsoever. I'm just saying as a general rule, you think that you kind of want to even it up.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, you know, it's like with anything. It always makes me laugh when someone says you won't. I'm completely, you know, not biased in any way, shape, or form. Everyone is. Everyone has bias. Everyone has.
Everyone
You know,
is
I try and be as understanding as
level
possible
as you
when I talk of
can.
it, but there's always an element there. You know, if it's a 50-50, I'm going to come down on the side of Arsenal.
Yeah,
You know, I'm an Arsenal fan.
yeah. 50-50 is automatically 60-40.
Yeah, exactly, or at least a
Yeah,
55-45.
yeah, yeah. So you've got that, but there's all unconscious bias, and they know it. Which is why they get Liverpool fans to ref our games just before the game.
I actually thought he had a decent enough game, Michael.
I
To be
thought
fair.
he did okay. I mean, I don't think he was. I thought he dished some of the yellow cards out too freely, and others not quite so much. I don't know. At what point did Cucurella get a yellow card, actually? Because he was just bouncing around like an absolute
He was lucky not to be sent off Cucurella. Let me have a look. I've just pulled it up.
absolute nut job. And
11 minutes.
how he stays on the pitch, I don't know.
Oh, Timber, by the way, wasn't booked. It was Calafiori that was the other book.
Calafiori, yeah.
Timber wasn't booked at all. I could have sworn Timber was booked, but there you go. He wasn't.
Yeah, so Cucurella was one of the ones in
He was the only Chelsea
12
player to
minutes.
get a yellow card. Yeah.
I mean, how can that be?
Not when you look at that game. I mean, both sides, I talked about it afterwards, right? Arsenal fell into a Chelsea trap, basically, of getting involved in the nitty-gritty, the stop-start nature of the game.
Yeah, I agree
And
with
they
that.
contributed to it. But, you know, both sides were at it, and yet one yellow card v 6 kind of.
I mean, all right, they got a red card as well, but you know, it's not as if the physicality stopped there. So yeah.
By the way, have you seen the game at Fulham?
I am watching it. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. I didn't see that he'd gone that far, but yeah, 9 goals.
Yeah. I mean, I was speaking, right, you know, City rightly not being ruled out of the league title charge, and I agree. But that defence is gettable. That's 6 goals they conceded against Leeds and
Do you
Fulham
know
in the last
what?
two.
I don't think it's the defense that's a problem now.
The
I
midfield
think
is also not quite right.
yeah, no, but I think Haaland's getting frustrated because Pep is playing more defensively, and because he's not getting the ball, and basically he's not in the game.
Well, he is tonight. He's got a goal and 2 assists, but I take your point.
but obviously he's been played out of the game. Obviously tonight they've played an open game, haven't they? Or they are playing an open game.
It looks like a basketball game, doesn't it?
Which obviously means that because it was 3-1 at half time, 4-1.
3-1 at half time.
3-1 at half time, yeah. So and then they've come out. One was an own goal, actually. So
yeah, Sander Berger and goal. Yeah.
So it's actually 5-4 to Fulham.
If only it worked like that. Says the man that we got my Monday night six-a-side team got relegated on Monday, which was fine because we're all the average age of our side on Monday was about 38, 39, and we were playing a side that had 6 members of the local county side in it. So they had 6 County 1 players playing against us. And, you know, we only lost 6-1, But 2 weeks previously, we were winning with literally the ref had his whistle in the mouth, and they got a cross in, and it flicked off the goalkeeper's foot and went off my right knee into the path of the striker, who then scored. In fact, I think it was even an own goal, and you're just like, oh God. Yeah, in fact, it was an own goal. He banged it in after it crossed the line, and you're just like, oh God, I've scored an own goal, and we could have kept us up. But if only it worked like that, we'd have won 2-0.
Yeah, exactly. Khalid scored 5, mate. They scored 5. The problem is one's in the wrong goal.
Yeah.
So they scored 5, 4 count in their favour. If they pull it back to 5-5, I mean, that is just mental.
Yeah.
I heard the City guy on the overlap basically going, oh well,
Is that LB?
No, not LB. No, the young guy, the blonde hair. But he was basically saying, yeah, Arsenal always bottle it. They always, when they got a proper team coming from and this, that, and the other. Well, sorry, if you're conceding 4 to Fulham, I'm not sure that's proper, if you know what I mean.
No, I mean it is
sustain anything with that, really.
They've got a really good manager and they got a really good goal scorer. I think I think I sent this stat to you, but I might not have done. As of just going into the international break, whether you like XG or not, 60% of City's XG was generated by Haaland alone. The next biggest, and I can't remember who the player was, but it was in the Bundesliga, of a side in the top 5 leagues in Europe, look at that are genuine title contenders. Biggest contribution from a single player was 37%. I mean, that's huge, right? I mean, but the balance again doesn't quite look right there. I think there's a defensive underbelly for me, but I think you have a really decent point about Haaland, which is they try to shore up the defense, which means he gets less of the ball. I do genuinely think that Arsenal are the title favourites. I said it pre-season, and nothing has changed my mind. It doesn't mean they're going to win it, but I think they are the best team, and I think they will win it. But I think comparing it back to Arsenal always bottle it, this is a very different side. I look back to that first,
and so are they. So are they.
Yeah, exactly. So are they. But I mean, just take us, right? I look back to that first title challenge. I never felt we had the squad for it. I always felt we were going to run out of steam. I felt the same on the Klopp's last year. They were going to run out of team. They didn't quite have the squad for it. I thought the second season we went as close as you could possibly think, but we dropped 4 points. I don't think that's a bottle job, to be honest. In 20 whatever it was after Christmas.
I think for me that's the bottle one. For me.
If you want to say it's that, I just don't see it in that way. I think any team dropping 4 points from January to the end of May, you kind of have to say.
Yeah, I agree, but obviously the points that we lost on the outgoing, if you like, on the front 19. If you want to use the golfing analogy, that's obviously 9, but not 9. You know what I'm saying. I think that probably that's the one, but nobody else does that. If City's not around, nobody else does that and doesn't win the league.
Yeah, I mean, I put that one in credit to City rather than bottle job from Arsenal. So I just don't buy that bottle job now. I just don't, and I
certainly don't buy Liverpool every single one.
No.
20 is it 2021, 22 that we weren't supposed to be in it anyway. And I would put that where Chelsea are now.
Yes, I agree. I said the same in the week.
Yeah, so I think that Chelsea are where the 21-22 is, where they're not expected to be in the title race as such. Granted, if you'd used money spent as a metric, then maybe, but I think that's a false metric, and I do find it quite ironic with the people that actually use that metric. You mentioned LB, and he wound me up a little bit because he was saying about the money spent that Arsenal spent so much money. It was only a year ago. He was like, "Yeah, act like a big club, go and splash the cash, go and do this, that, and the other," and then you do it and you get to the million, or it's not even a million. I think it's 940.
Yeah, it's just short of $1 billion, isn't it?
So it's somewhere around there, which obviously,
Is a lot of money.
it's good money, but I'm not being funny. I'm a season ticket holder. I wish they'd spent more.
Yeah,
I wish I'd spent more, but they obviously couldn't because of the FFP and because we didn't sell stuff to ourselves and we didn't do this, that, and the other. So,
we're not. Last time I checked, we're not facing 115 charges.
Well, it's not just them either,
No,
is it?
I
It's
know,
just,
I know.
just others as well. But
Chelsea have sold their women's team. They sold the hotel. Everton sold their women's.
yeah, and they see it as fairness because everybody could have done it because they opened the door up, which in effect, in essence, is right.
It's true, yeah.
But Arsenal were never going to do that.
It also doesn't help them in the long term, right? Because at some point, well, how are you going to balance your books in future unless you?
Well, the other thing that gets me is that when we sold the stadium, or the owners bought a stadium, but basically bought it through the club. But they did it with shareholder loans, and that was a problem. But apparently, selling it yourself for nothing or for ridiculous amounts of money is perfectly fine. But having a bit of interest on a shareholder loan is not on, and we're part of the red cartel that this, that, and the other. They just missed another shot for them.
I was just going to say, if they close.
I'm just watching the live feed. I'm not watching the actual game, but this is madness. How close that is.
If this ends 5-5, wow,
that would be so funny. To be honest,
that would be 4 points. We'd be ahead with the game in hand.
Yeah, I mean,
I do think they're going to hang on here. To be fair,
yeah, of course they are. But it's a bit. I saw a thing come up earlier on, basically from Touchline or something, and basically said if City win tonight, they'll only be 2 points behind. Well, yeah, that's how it works.
Yep. 5 minus 3 is 2.
Yeah. We don't need to be mathematicians to work that out, But yeah.
Mind you, I think the big surprise of the night is Spurs have kept a clean sheet for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's the game I got on. Actually, I've got it on my phone, but I was just watching the feed for that. But Bournemouth are in the pits a little bit, aren't they? So
yeah, I don't think that's a surprise. I was reflecting on this the other day. They're starting to concede goals now, and Semenyo's obviously, Semenyo's had a good season. He was carrying the team a little.
He'd been doing everything on his own, hasn't he? So he's getting a bit of fatigue now.
But you've also got to look at it and go, they lost 4 out of their back 5, if you include the goalkeeper last year. And, it wasn't like they were slouches that they lost. It's not a surprise. I think, Areola deserves a lot of credit there, but no surprise to see Bournemouth sliding slightly. My surprise pick for 5th, though, is right up there.
For 5th? What, Brighton?
Brighton, they're right up there. They're going to yo-yo a little bit. They go on a little good runs of form and then they drop off.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas is obviously a big period, so they'll not be as consistent. But
I agree.
They'll be there or thereabouts, definitely. But yeah, I've got the Newcastle game. Where are Newcastle now, actually?
Just behind Spurs. So Spurs as it stands 11th, Newcastle 13th.
Oh, you've got the live table, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the live table. Yeah.
But even that
going into the game, they were 13th as well. To be fair, I don't think that's a live table. No, it's a live table. They've updated the live table. That's annoying.
Yeah, they moved about 5 places if somebody can get a winner.
Yeah, huge jump.
Which is mad. It is mad. I mean, it's going to be pretty hardcore this next few weeks anyway, isn't it? Obviously, always is over Christmas. But
I mean, I think Everton were 14th coming into this game. They're currently 9th.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much, does it? When you're it's so tight, it's untrue.
Well, it's like if Fulham win this game, suddenly they jump up to potentially 10th. What's the goal difference? No, they go not 11th because of the goal difference.
Yeah.
I mean, they're currently 15th.
8 minutes at a time.
Come on, Fulham. Smith Rowe, come on, do it for your old boys.
I mean, so it was Smith Rowe and Iwobi that both scored. Chukwueze, is he on loan from Chelsea or did they buy
Yeah,
him?
I think he's on loan.
Okay, fine. So he's got 2 as well. But yeah, that'd be mad.
No, it would be brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, going from this, what's your thoughts on this? Do you think we rotate or
For Brentford?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think we're kind of automatically rotated anyway.
Yeah.
So
Based on who's available.
well, yeah, I mean, Odegaard's back anyway, isn't he? So you obviously put him in. Do you put Madueke in?
I think it's interesting, this one. So I haven't thought about this, so I'm going to do this live. So Raya obviously keeps his place in goal despite, a couple of odd moments recently.
Yes.
Jurrien Timber for me is the one where I just think he needs a rest. I understand why he's played these 3 games, but I would like to see Ben White coming out. I don't think it will happen. I think Jurrien Timber will start, particularly as I think Saliba is going to miss out on this one. So I think the centre backs will be the same too. And I think Calafiori will start this one because he basically got 45 minutes rest at the weekend. I would play Miles Lewis-Skelly in against Club Brugge and try and get him some minutes. He's just suffering a little bit. Understandably, so it happens to a lot of 18-year-olds. Just a little bit of a dip in form from what was a brilliant standard last season. I wonder whether Norgard comes into this one, but again, I think the same 2 will start: Rice and Zubimendi in midfield.
Zubimendi had a rest as well, though, didn't he?
Exactly. And
So
Rice is always at his
Zubimendi
best when he's sort of playing consistently.
Yeah.
The only thing it would be whether you do a pre-planned substitution regardless of Gamesgate with Declan Rice coming off about the 65, 70-minute mark, regardless of state. But what you could do to get Rice a rest, of course, is go Rice on the bench, comes on at 60-odd minutes for Odegaard, and you start Odegaard and Eze in the sort of 2-8
Yeah, I don't see him doing that.
We've seen it before in the game. Odegaard got injured last time. Again, I don't think so, but I'm just sort of looking at options. But I think it will be Rice and Zubimendi. I think Odegaard might well start this.
I think it starts, and he.
And then I think Martinelli. I think Eze will come out for a little bit of a rest. I think Martinelli will go out on the left. I think Saka will continue on the right, and then it will depend on whether it's
pretty early.
Yeah, possibly for Madueke, who could of course be an option for the left to get him a start. I think someone new comes in on the left.
Eze might come on as well. He got
it is an option on the left.
Yeah.
So I think in what's that done me? So it's done Odegaard in to start. I don't think Rice will come out, and I don't think Timber will come out. But I would certainly do one of those. So I'm really only looking at one change there, which is Odegaard from that team. I would like to see. I would also start Gyökeres, and I depend on whether he's fit or not. So maybe 2. I'd like to see a third. I really would like to see one of Rice or Timber rested because I don't think, as we said, I don't think Zubimendi needs it. Neither of the 2 centre backs need it. Calafiori got a rest. I think Saka has had a relatively recent rest. And someone's going to come in on the left. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you got Commode on the right hand side as well. So I don't think he's going to necessarily trust Lewis-Skelly with him.
No, and I wonder as well whether that also might be why Martinelli starts on the left, because he is, quite good defensively.
Yeah, but I think the midfield kind of picks itself to a point. Like you say, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard. You probably start with Saka, although I'd probably prefer him to start with Madueke, but I think he will start with Saka. I think he'll start with the strongest team, try and get a couple of goals early, and sub them off. But then we've been in this situation before where the players have been subbed off, and he kind of done it too early. I think we did it with Villa season before, and basically sub players off too early, and then Khalid's put this up, and basically what we were saying earlier, should we move the advertising boards forward given how deadly they are from long throws? I don't think we need to. I think we have a relatively short boundary anyway, so I don't think we need to. We kind of do a standing thing, and I'm pretty sure it slopes off as well, doesn't it?
It does,
quite a lot.
Yes.
Not necessarily at the sides, but he does behind the goals quite a lot. But
It still does slope off at the sides, though.
he does slope off, but not to the same extreme. Yeah,
yeah, I agree.
but yeah, I mean, I don't think we're not that club. We don't do that.
No, I agree. We don't do that sort of thing.
And like we discussed as well, I really think it was pointless Sunderland doing it as well. To be honest,
yeah, it was.
So it was just a bit of nonsense that was kind of put in the ether by the media and Mr. Carragher and all that lot. And yeah, it is what it is. But it's.
Oh, that was a great ball from Kevin. No one gets on the end of it.
Yeah, it's nearly done now as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that might have been
the last attack. So yeah, I mean it'll put some frighteners up a few people anyway. That.
What's the narrative now? Pressure's on Arsenal. They got it. City within 2, and it is accurate. But
it is accurate. But again,
let's look at the performance.
but that's the same, isn't it? If you go first, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And we didn't create the fixtures, and we all play each other twice. So City have got to play Chelsea twice.
Yeah, and you look at where we've been this season already.
Yeah. So our running is much more attractive. I'd prefer to have City on the at home on the running, to be honest, rather than the Etihad.
Yeah,
but I think Liverpool are at home though.
Yeah, we played them at Anfield.
No, we've played them away.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So we've got that in the running. Our running for City against City is at
it is at the Etihad. Yeah. But that's the only one of the sort of big ones,
I also think as well it's like with 7 games to go, so it could potentially be done by then. So
we could be far enough away that
we just got to see how it goes over January and
it's a long way until we get to that point, right?
Yeah, for sure. So is it finished? It wasn't the last chance because City just had one. But yeah,
still not over. But we're past time added on.
Yeah. You take 5 points ahead going into December, given our difficult start and injury list. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously it's down to 2, but we're now a game in hand. So, you wouldn't expect us not to beat Brentford. To be fair, yeah,
you'd be very disappointed if you didn't beat Brentford at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that said, there is always a result like that every season. Where you get that random bad result at home.
Yeah, I'd rather just not have it this season, though.
Yeah, well, I'd rather
not even a draw, not even whatever. So
I'd rather not have it when you're coming off the back of a draw at Chelsea and the gap has just closed back to 2 points.
Yeah,
but Brentford, to be fair, they're 12th. They've won 4 of the last 6. I mean, but you'd still expect Arsenal to beat them.
Yeah, who have they played in those 6 though?
We'll check for you.
I'm gonna have a look now.
They have played Burnley, Brighton. They lost to Newcastle. They beat Palace. They lost to Liverpool. They beat and West Ham. They beat.
Wow.
So they're not gimmies.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool at the time were atrocious, to be fair.
Yes, they were.
And I don't think Newcastle had their fullbacks back.
No, and Newcastle also, they're going to improve, by the way, this season.
Yeah, didn't they must have had a Champions League game at that point as well.
Yes, they did. They were coming off the back of an away Champions League game.
Yeah, so
which is big. It's just ended at Craven Cottage.
Yeah, so it's ended 4-5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a bit of a shame, but it's got to put a bit of frighteners up against people at the City persuasion if Fulham are scoring 4 past you.
Well, and Leeds scoring 2. Six goals conceded in the last 2 games for City.
Mad.
For context, we conceded 7 in the league all season.
Yeah, we've just got to keep doing the do, haven't we? And yeah. Yeah, I mean, the more I talk about it, the more it's kind of putting nerves up me. But you know what I mean? That's kind of the
Yeah, I mean,
general.
look, undoubtedly, look. Oh, here's the first message. See, this is why we can't lose Chelsea. It's just come through on my phone. This is why City are coming back. I'm like, you just seen they've just conceded 4. Look, you can't write them off, obviously, as I said earlier. But you know,
Who's put that?
someone I know has messaged me. Oh, he'd been waiting for it for the last half hour. I'm quite
Oh,
convinced he'd
right.
quite like to see Arsenal lose the league so he can get Arteta out. I genuinely think that sometimes. But there you go.
Yeah, I know. I know. There are people like that, and I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I,
Well, I know what
honestly,
sits behind it. I just don't understand why you'd want it. But there you go.
yeah, I mean, I can't. Nobody should be having a manager out conversation when you're top of the league, top of 2 leagues even.
And still in the League Cup.
I'm still in the League Cup. Obviously, still in the FA Cup.
I was going to say, technically, we're still in the FA Cup. I'm not sure I can count that.
Still in all competitions. So I mean, yeah, I'm sure some of them would would be glad to see the back of that. But there we go. What's your score prediction for the Brentford game?
2-0, I think. I think that's what I said when I was asked this the other day. But it's certainly going to be my score prediction for now.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1. I think it's with having Gyökeres back, I think he might get a couple, and then
hopefully, yeah, that would be most welcome.
Yeah. I don't know where we are in the open play goals table, but everybody's stopped talking about that, haven't they?
Well, it's before Chelsea, and it was an open play goal, wasn't it? I know it was a header at the far post, but I can't remember if it was from a set piece or not now. But before that, we'd scored 11 of our previous 13 goals had come from open play.
Yeah. Oh, look, we're now 7th in the table. We get one more, and Bournemouth, Spurs, and Chelsea don't score one. We go for
Bournemouth haven't scored one because they finished.
They finished anyway. Spurs are still playing. Chelsea play tomorrow as well, don't they? They play Leeds, don't they? So yeah, that will put us third. But yeah, City got some open play goals again, I guess. But
yeah.
But yeah.
Donnarumma, by the way, faced 5 shots tonight on target.
No way.
Yeah,
he's conceded them all.
He's conceded all but one. So here's his shots on target stats. Save from Smith Rowe, goal from Smith Rowe, goal from Iwobi, 2 goals from Chukwueze.
That's mad. And they already said that he's better than Raya in the league, which I'm not quite sure how that works, to be honest. You 2-time Golden Glove winner, and automatically he's better.
I mean, in fairness, that's down to the defence as well as the goalkeeper. But yes, I mean, Ryan,
he can't face 5 on target and score
exactly
4.
I think if Arsenal face 5 shots on target tomorrow, I'll be stunned if Brentford score 4 of them.
I'd be stunned if he conceded 2, to be honest.
I've just seen a tweet here from Dougie Critchley. 2 points away from Arsenal now for City, but my belief in City winning the league grows smaller. Defeats against Newcastle and Leverkusen, 6 goals conceded against Leeds and Fulham.
Well, that's what we were saying, wasn't it? If you concede in that amount of goals, and all right, you're outscoring, but at what point does that scoring? I mean, how can he concede? You can't concede 4 to Fulham, surely.
Well, you go back to Kevin Keegan days. They didn't win the league that season because they couldn't defend well enough. Teams generally don't win championships if they're conceding that level of goals. In fact, I don't think I can think of one that was conceding that level of goal. Jurgen Klopp, I was talking about it earlier. I always felt that they were having a season like Arsenal's first title still in his last season. They were conceded too many. They were in basketball games, and you can win. You can go on a little run of winning.
You can go on a run, but you're not going to win 10 in a row or anything like that, are you?
No.
I mean, what's
you can't do a basketball.
Because they lost to Villa, didn't they? See?
Yes.
How far long ago was that now?
Oh, that would have been a while ago. I'd have thought.
I'm trying to see.
We got Villa away at the weekend, didn't we? Lunchtime
Yeah.
kickoff.
Yeah. But I think we'll be all right, actually, to be honest.
I think I'd rather have a lunchtime kickoff there than an evening kickoff there, to be honest. They lost to Villa on the 26th of October, 1-0.
So are they? What are their results since then?
Cities.
Yeah.
Well, they beat Swansea. But let's move on from that. They beat Bournemouth.
Swansea?
Yeah, in the cup.
Oh, okay.
Do you want just a league, yeah?
Yeah.
They beat Bournemouth 3-1, Liverpool 3-0, lost to Newcastle, beat Leeds 3-2, and then obviously today's 5-4. And they got Sunderland at the weekend. I think they'll win that. But Crystal Palace away is on the 14th after facing Real Madrid away.
If you're conceding 4 goals to Fulham, what are Sunderland scoring? Sunderland far better than Fulham.
You know a clean sheet's coming, right?
But I don't care. But I mean, it could be a clean sheet. It could be 0-0. But you can't concede 4 goals against Fulham and then. All right, it's at the Etihad, but does it really make that much difference?
Well, they conceded 2 against Leeds at the weekend at the Etihad.
So the last game that City lost in the league was Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it was only 3 games before that they lost to Villa.
Their last clean sheet in the league came against Liverpool, which was
3-0.
But before that, conceded against Bournemouth, conceded against Villa, Everton before that. So apparently they like going to Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Khalid says, but City can't put a game to bed. That level of intensity every game will take its toll on the players. They'll fall off eventually. But I think that they're pandering to Haaland because Haaland's been in Pep's ear at the end of every game, basically going, we can't carry on like this. This is just crap. And whatever. So I think
Haaland doesn't look overly happy either, does he?
No, I think Haaland's calling the shots, but he's like, well, he kind of looks like he wants out of there.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go that far at the moment, but it could well be, if he is someone, I could see sort of that wouldn't surprise me if come the summer that's a conversation because he wants to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many places you can go that are going to pay that kind of money, though, is there? There's you got PSG or Real Madrid, don't you? Really,
yeah.
That's kind of it.
Can't. Bayern could, but he came from Dortmund.
But Barca are in the phase of using their youth players, and
they're having to. There's conversation about how they register them. I wouldn't rule Bayern out, but all the time Kane's there, I can't see that happening. I don't think Dortmund. It prevents that happening, but
player sales are subsidized anyway in the Bundesliga, I think.
I don't know about that, but they certainly don't have collective bargaining over their league sort of TV revenues and stuff, which gives Bayern a massive advantage.
Yeah,
same in La Liga as well, by the way. But
yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see. Obviously, they're getting other goal scorers in now, so at least there's that for if you're looking from a City perspective.
Yeah, Foden's got a good scoring run at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. Is that Reinders' second goal for the season?
Yeah. And is it Foden? Did he get both against 2 against Leeds? Didn't he?
I think so.
On Saturday. So there you go. Yeah, he did. So he's got 4 goals. He's got 4 goals now in the last 2 games. But again,
he didn't score them both. No, he scored the 90th minute one, and Gvardiol got the other one.
Yeah, but they scored 3.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah.
But he's not going to keep that record up either.
No, I mean they were lucky to get set. Well, I mean they scored 90 at 91st minute, 92nd minute, so it didn't really matter. But they got 10 minutes added on to that game. It was a bit mad as well.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with winning it late, but as mentally it takes a toll.
Yeah, I mean, so long as you're not relying on that to do it every game, then that's the point, isn't it? If you're doing it once or twice, then fair enough. If you're doing it every other time, then it's going to end up catching up with you, isn't it? As Liverpool have found out.
Yep.
But there we go. So yeah,
still 0-0 at St James's.
Are you confident we beat Villa? I think so. I think we beat Villa.
I'm not as confident as I think we'll beat Brentford tomorrow. I'm not as confident about Villa. They're on a good run of form, but I think there will be something here for Arteta. He will want to win this game really badly. He's still smarting about the Emery stuff from a couple of years ago. So I think we are favourites of that game, and I obviously haven't seen the game yet, but I would be disappointed if we didn't beat Villa, because I think we can and should beat Villa. Not should, because you don't have an automatic right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I want to see what Villa's record is at home.
Well, Villa's record just in general recently has been awesome.
Yeah, but
5 wins in the last 6. They're the current informed team, by the way.
True, but they've had the easiest run of games.
Yes, I mean Wolves, Leeds, Villa, Bournemouth, Liverpool, which they lost to. City, to be fair.
And they beat City, didn't they? So
and they beat Tottenham at Tottenham, but everyone beats Tottenham at Tottenham.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think that they're definitely not invincible at home. They're I think they're beatable. So,
and I think the lunchtime kickoff helped, although they obviously could do with a bit of a later kickoff when you're playing on Wednesday night than a lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. But I think that will dampen down the crowd. They haven't been to the pub beforehand and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's better for us actually, being a like you say, being a 12:30 kickoff. But yeah,
be interesting to see how AFCON affects teams as well going forward, because obviously it won't affect us. But
we don't have any, do we? That's going at all.
Fulham they lose half the team.
Who do?
Fulham.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good. Because yeah, they're gonna be in trouble anyway, aren't they?
I think Fulham will be all right. I mean, I think the bottom 3 is the 3 that will go down. But Salah has been called up today by Egypt, so he's going on the 15th of December.
2 weeks.
Yep.
So that's 4 games time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be done by then anyway. Just had enough, hasn't he? Yeah, Forest are pulling themselves out of it, aren't they, with the Dyche appointment?
Yeah, I think West Ham will too. I mean, they're not going to put up trees, but I think they'll get out of it.
No, but they're good appointments, aren't they, in the end? Yeah. Obviously, Forest, made a mistake with getting Ange in first place.
Yeah, it's not that Ange is a terrible manager by any stretch. He just didn't fit what was there, and he didn't have a pre-season to instill it.
The thing is, I mean, I said this about Hansi Flick as well. They're very similar kind of managers, and the reason that his style doesn't work in the Premier League, and certainly not with Tottenham, is because he doesn't have the quality of player.
Yeah,
you give him the Barcelona players that play there, 9 times out of 10 they win.
Yeah,
but you just can't have basically mediocre players playing that line. It would just never work for me.
No. It's if you're Manchester City, you're never appointing Sean Dyche. If you're Nottingham Forest, you're not appointing Mikel Arteta. I mean, that's a slightly, I think Mikel Arteta could do a job at Forest because he is a good defensive coach, but you know what I mean. Horses for courses. By the way, Newcastle lead Spurs.
So they will actually go up quite a way, I think.
They will go to. They'll go ahead of Everton. They could go 8th. They'll be ahead of Liverpool now on goal difference. So yeah, and Manchester United now because they'll get another one. Yeah, 7th.
Yeah,
still behind Sunderland though.
Yeah, but
They won't finish behind Sunderland.
They won't finish behind Sunderland at all. I did put a joke tweet out yesterday, basically.
Oh, did you? I didn't see that.
That Sunderland and Newcastle will have the Champions League playoff. Just for the means of it. I was sick of.
Will it presumably be an away fixture because then they can all go, "Hooray, the lads!"
It doesn't matter, does it? But both. I mean, the thing is that they always complain about the distance they have to travel, don't they? And they won't have far to travel to that one, will they?
No.
So, you can't complain this year, lads. So, yeah. But, and I mean, that's not going to be great for Spurs as well because they've obviously travelled all the way up there. And, yeah.
It's a difficult place to go, to be fair, Newcastle, especially under the lights. It's a good atmosphere at St James's. It's a long old distance. They're a good side under Eddie Howe. It's why I was so pleased to go there and get the 3 points. I think that was huge.
That actually takes it would take Spurs down at least one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Did Everton win in the end?
Yeah, they won 1-0. Spurs are 14th.
Yeah. The one I'm looking at is just not live updating that.
Yeah, I've got a live update, but it took a few minutes after the goal went into.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're down to 14th. If Fulham had won tonight, they'd have been 15th.
That was so funny.
Oh dear me. I mean,
what do you make of that then? Do you think?
Spurs?
Yeah. Do you think Frank should go? Do you think he should get more time? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. Look, I think if you're a Spurs right now, he's looking to make them more solid. He's looking to, they were awful defensively, but they have some quality defenders in there. That back four on paper is not bad. I don't like Pedro Porro. I know a lot of people like him. I think he's the weak link. I'd move Jed Spence to right back and Doggy at left back. And then with the two centre halves, I know Romero can be rash, but there's a solid base there. They need to upgrade their goalkeeper. But I think the real problem is he doesn't really have a trusted runner in midfield that can stay fit. And Thomas Frank kind of needs that. But I think he's starting to get the pieces there. If he can keep them fit, Kudos is a signing, Kulieski, Solanke as a striker. Yes. James Maddison is going to be a big loss for them this season.
Yeah. He'll be back next season, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think Tottenham needs some time to just slowly build, like Arsenal have done, like Chelsea have done. It's not easy. You've got to get it right, but they have the money. They have Champions League money. They have the stadium to attract people.
Do you think that Tottenham need as much work as Arsenal did?
No, nowhere near that level.
I don't think so. I think they've got some creators there.
They're coming from a much stronger base. Yeah. Much stronger. You look at that back four, and then you look at the Arsenal back four. Was it David Luiz and Mustafi? I think was it. At the time when Arteta took over, was it Mustafi? No, Socrates. I knew Mustafi wasn't right. You look at that, is Liechtenstein and Bellerin as your right back option. It wasn't great. That compared to what Tottenham have now, it's night and day, right?
Yeah.
But I think the same process needs to happen there. What I do think with Thomas Frank is, I think Thomas Frank can stabilise them because they aren't stable. They go up and down a lot. I think he can sort of flatten that out, given a little bit of time. Do I think Thomas Frank is a manager to get them over the top? Then no. But I think he can build a real solid platform for someone else to come in. But I'm not 100% sure he's going to get the time because Tottenham fans seem really upset about it. They really want to see this style of play, sort of liken them to West Ham. They drove David Moyes out. And, I still think that was a wrong decision from a West Ham perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tottenham have that tendency about them, but I think if Thomas Frank was given a couple of years, I think he can build a real solid base. And who knows, a lot of people didn't think Arteta could get us to this point. Obviously we all expect him to win and he hasn't yet, but we are way, way, way better than we were when he took over and no one expected him to get that point. Maybe Thomas Frank can do it. I just don't think he's quite there, but I think he's a really smart appointment for Spurs if he's given the time.
Do you think the biggest problem is the season ticket prices than the ticket prices at Spurs? Because it's like us as fans, right? When we go to Arsenal, it's like we pay all this money and we go to watch this shower of shite. And when Wenger was at the club, he, it's way down the line, but he basically said, when we were mentioning ticket prices, he said if they want players like Henry here, they'll pay the ticket prices. But it had been a long time since we had anybody anywhere near the ilk of Henry.
Yeah, I mean, Henry was obviously a generation.
I'm not saying. I mean, obviously Henry's there.
Yeah,
just
but I know your point is valid.
Somewhere there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I mean, in terms of Tottenham, there's no one at that level since Harry Kane, and I don't think there's anyone near that now. Whereas you look at Arsenal, and they might be different players for Henry, but Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, the two centre backs, Yuri and Timber. These are really, really good, exciting players that are, near the top of their game. They are in the it's certainly in the top 5 discussions in their positions in European football. Probably it's certainly in the top 3 in the Premier League. Whereas you look at Tottenham, you go, who in that side is in the top 5 conversation for in the Premier League, let alone Europe? I don't think there's a single one in there. And I don't think there has been since Harry Kane. Van der Ven is probably therefore, as you say,
if you're doing a combined 11 now, just with us and Spurs, do any Spurs players
have just equalised, by the way.
I'm watching it, but it's obviously behind. But yeah, do you think anybody gets in a combined 11? And Arsenal, it doesn't matter, fully fit.
Yeah. I mean,
anybody.
I'm just looking at it and thinking, I'm genuinely struggling. Ndoggy is probably the closest, him or Calafiori, but I think Van der Ven and Romero are good centre backs, but they're going against Gabriel and Saliba. Yuri and Timber is obviously the right back. I think there is a genuine question at left back, but I can't see any Tottenham midfielders getting in ahead of Zubimendi or Rice. Odegaard in the 10. I know he had a bad season last year, but I still think he's better than Maddison. Maddison has shown consistently that he's inconsistent. You could play Kudos maybe in the 10, but I'd still probably have Odegaard because of a tempo setting and stuff. Saka is obviously the right winger. I can't think who their left winger is, but I think that's another option. That's another place they could get someone in, but I can't think who it is for them. And Solanke probably doesn't get in over the
left wing.
I don't think, I've heard Brendan Johnson. I heard someone say that Brendan Johnson should start for England ahead of Bukayo Saka, which I found
absolute nonsense.
I found that laughable. There's a I can't think who their left winger is though right now. I am struggling to put a Tottenham player in there, and I'm trying not to be biased. Obviously, there is
I'm trying not to, but I mean, but
you could argue Solanke over Gyökeres, but I still think but that's because Gyökeres has been in the league, for a hiccup, and Solanke's been in there a while. But I think Gyökeres objectively is going to be and is the better player. Yeah, I know. I thought that when I heard it that Brendan Johnson was Welsh, but yeah, I thought I must have misremembered it that he was Welsh. I thought it was too. I'm glad Khalid said that, but yeah, I genuinely saw that he should.
I'm sure that must have been some kind of wind up because he's definitely Welsh.
No, I watched the reaction from the host and on the show, and and they were looking completely bemused at the suggestion. But there we go.
Yeah, I was quite bemused when you said it, to be honest.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, it's just,
okay.
Apart from the fact it's Welsh, I must admit when I saw it, I was like, I thought it was Welsh. I must have misremembered. I must be wrong. But either way, Brendan Johnson is is not getting in over Bukayo Saka in any team.
No. And I think he'd have to be like 33 and have no legs, I think.
Yeah, literally.
Sorry, I just tried to click that. Kulusevski is really good, but still wouldn't get in. I mean, potentially, can you put him on the left?
I was going to say, he played sort of right in the 10 predominantly for Spurs, but I think there is an opening for Spurs on the left, to get in a combined 11.
Yeah, so maybe that, but yeah, like you say, Maddison don't get in, and like you say, the nearest two are the two centre backs, aren't they? I guess, and Yeah, they're going against Gabriel and Saliba, and I don't know how many goals they've conceded, but it's a lot more than Gabriel and Saliba have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and sometimes you have to look at the overall team as well. You can't just go on that. We're talking about goalkeepers earlier, but I think those two are really good. But I just struggle to see where they get in. And if you put those two against other team centre backs, one of them probably gets in, right? But
Yeah. Or our backup centre backs.
yes,
right?
yeah.
So if you take Gabriel and Saliba out of it,
Then I
then
think those two start.
they probably both get in.
Yeah, but
now.
they don't get in by a country mile, but they both get in.
Yeah, I think you can have the argument, obviously, because they're new to the league.
Yeah.
And whatever, but yeah, Hincapié is an invincible, isn't he?
He is.
So do you drop him for one of them? I'm not too sure about that.
I don't think you can at the moment, just because it's a bit like you could argue Solanke over Gyökeres because of time in the league.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
No, if you were just picking on ability, then it is Gyökeres.
Yeah.
I always thought Solanke was a weird one, because I was talking about Tottenham earlier needing a little bit of time to build, and you're absolutely right, they're coming from a higher base. But I thought Solanke was an odd one, because by the time Tottenham, in theory, get good under that strategy, Solanke's too old.
Yeah, I think it was a peacekeeper transfer, really, because obviously they needed somebody for Kane. And Richarlison. What's the VAR for?
Bentancur and Dan Burn have a wrestling match. Bentancur could be in big trouble here. This could be a penalty. Yeah, ref being sent to the screen.
It's sent to the screen, so that's going to be a penalty then.
Yeah.
They only just equalised a minute ago.
Yep.
And that's really good from the assistant, actually. I wish more assistants would do that.
Yeah, I do too.
Because he just put his arm out and he's basically gone, yeah, you ain't following him, you ain't going anywhere near him. And why the refs don't just walk off in the first place, or the two linos walk on the pitch and go, you over there.
Like they used to.
You over there.
Like they used to. Well, Jonathan Woodgate says it's not a penalty, and it is being awarded. So there we go. Shocking news. Former Tottenham, well, it's used, former Newcastle as well, says it's not a penalty, and then a penalty's given.
Who said that?
Jonathan Woodgate says he's surprised if this is a penalty. Jamie Carragher says that's harsh, but the penalty's been given. One of the new refs as well, Thomas Bramall. So there we go. We've learned a new ref's name.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the refs that's give it, really. It's VAR, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah. I'm going to have to watch that now. I don't know where have you got it on?
No, I'm following a feed on this one.
Oh, okay. Your feed's probably about as quick as my stream, to be fair.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there does seem to be a lot of reaction online, sort of saying it is a little bit soft, and it's not consistently given. But I've not seen it yet, so.
Yeah, I'm watching it on a screen that's it's on my phone screen, and it's about 6 miles away from me. Now my screen needs refreshing. So
what is going to be quite funny is just watching Spurs tumble down the table in a minute if this goes in.
Aussie Gooner says, "Big up, Dom, mate."
Hello, Logan. I'm assuming that's you, is it? But hello to you, Aussie Gooner. It is you, Logan. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, hopefully a couple of guys are just coming in from Josh's channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Please make
early morning still for Logan.
Goal.
It's not in. Get in. I'm just going to watch the live league table and watch Tottenham.
Watch him drop down like a sack of spuds. A sack of spuds. I didn't even do that on purpose, but there you go.
Oh dear me! Yeah, I was going to say that was that. I appreciated that almost as much as I'm appreciating this live table. Oh, sorry. Excuse me a second. Let me start with scrolling. No, scrolling. Oh, there they are.
Oh my god.
14th. Wow. There we go. Still time. You never know. They might come back. They got 5 minutes plus stoppages. But there we go.
Why would they higher? Not what my feed's doing here.
Are you catching up with the penalty?
Yeah, the feed's just gone all over the place. So it's the league table feed. So it's got Tottenham in 11th and Newcastle in 13th.
Yeah.
There you go. Bang.
Yeah.
Actually refreshed.
Yeah.
14th and 7th.
Yeah.
Nice. Like to see that. I mean, I'm not sure you can consider it Spursy because they came back and then kind of went behind, but who knows?
I mean, in one level it is, right? Tottenham get back into the game and then, fall off, go and do something daft and, potentially lose the game. But, they are who they are, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were just saying, weren't we? So it's appropriate timing, really, that they go and concede. I mean, to be fair, I didn't see them scoring at all, to be honest with you.
No, fair play for them coming back. Because when you go behind at St James's Park, particularly in these evening games, it can be very difficult to get back. But, I've got a question for you from the weekend, though. What did you make of Everton's sudden, performance? While we're talking about Newcastle, I did not see that big defeat coming at the weekend.
No, I mean, they've been up and down anyway, haven't they? Really, then it's
Yeah, it wasn't a loss that surprised me. It was the sort of size of a loss, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Suddenly go and lose 4-1 was, very interesting. But Jack Grealish is enjoying himself again.
Yeah, I also think that that Newcastle have kind of got some players back as well, so that they're in a bit of a resurgence. But yeah, I mean, didn't they get beat 3-0?
They've 4-1. They lost.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago though. No, it beat Fulham 2-0. I thought they got beat 3-0 somewhere else as well. Tottenham beat them 3-0. But that was match week 9. I thought it was more recent than that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not that long ago, to be fair, but
no. But then they beat Bournemouth as well tonight. So that's I don't know. I mean, they're a Jekyll and Hyde side, aren't they?
Yeah,
Everton,
exactly.
Really. Then I mean, Moyes has been there, taken there to do a job.
Yeah, exactly. And they're also a side that is very, very limited in what they've got available as well, aren't they? I mean,
yeah, but if it's you and you're at the helm there, do you just keep him for this season to get him consolidated in the new ground and that, and then get somebody else?
What, David Moyes?
Yeah, as in replace Moyes.
No, I don't think I'd replace Moyes in the next year or two for sure. I think it's kind of similar to what I was talking about with Thomas Frank. I think you keep him there, you build a little bit with him. Do I think eventually it's going to get to the point where Everton will look to move beyond him? Yeah, I think it probably will. I know he had them consistently sick for a while ago, but I just don't. I think Everton are so far off that. I think they need that pragmatic manager for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, at times I just think he's a little bit too pragmatic. But I think he suited West Ham down to the ground.
Yep. I think he suits Everton down to the ground right now.
Yeah, probably does as well. But I think they need to be looking at getting some better quality talent once they're consolidated in their new stadium. Really.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you don't invest all that money in the facilities and the stadium there to be a side that finishes, in the middle of a table. Do I think David Moyes has what it takes? I mean, he did win a trophy at West Ham, but to consistently go on and win, and look, Everton must have aspirations to be moving towards the Champions League. Not instantly, probably looking at the nearer the 10-year mark than the 1-year mark, right? But I'm not.
It's the same standard as Newcastle, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think Newcastle coming from a better base as well, to be fair. But I think David Moyes will move them in the right direction. But similar to Thomas Frank, you doubt about whether he gets them to where they want to be. But I think he moves them a long way towards that. I think what will be crucial to Everton getting to where they want to be is how they replace David Moyes.
Yeah.
But they certainly should keep David Moyes the next 2, maybe 3 years.
Oh, really? That long?
I think so. Yeah. You look at that squad and think who there takes them anywhere near the Champions League.
Hmm.
That there isn't a single player there that they have on a permanent basis that you think, yeah, there's a side the player you can build the team around towards the Champions League.
Well, Grealish is that guy, isn't he? Really?
But they've only got him on loan.
Is he on loan for the season? I mean,
yeah.
but surely he just goes there anyway.
Well, I would if I was him. I think we talked
Yeah.
about this earlier in the season, right? I think he's a perfect player for that sort of club where he can be a bit of a maverick, do what he wants. He's not a system
He
player.
couldn't get picked every game.
Yeah, he can be the star, so
Yeah.
that could be it. But even then, you look at Jack Grealish and think, if you look at the timeline, same with Jordan Pickford, who could be the other argument, it doesn't fit the timeline.
I'll tell you another place that actually would be good for Grealish, and that's Spurs.
Yeah, but you look at Spurs,
Couldn't
you
be
go,
worse.
you got Xavi Simons, who I think will improve. They got James Maddison. They got Kudos. Where does Grealish fit in?
Well, he can play on the left, can't he?
Well, I mean, he can, which is where Xavi Simons is playing. And obviously, if Simons doesn't improve, but you look at that and go, well, unless they're cutting their losses with Simons at the end of the season, which will be a big financial hit.
No, it's not happening.
And actually, I was talking about Spurs going, well, they need 2 or 3 years, if not more. Again, Jack Grealish doesn't fit the timeline anywhere near as well as Simons, so you just persist with Xavi Simons.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. It just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah. Khalid says, when Mikel wins everything with us and wants a new challenge, pray you're right. Fingers crossed. Would you care if we went to Everton and ended the trophy drought for him? Absolutely not, mate. Absolutely not at all.
No, I think he might be going to a bit of a bigger side if he does.
I would have thought so. They may be going to a Spanish club as well.
Barcelona kind of, seems the obvious candidate. Tell you what would be interesting with Jack Grealish, though, and that's Crystal Palace.
Morning, Dundee.
Don't know what you think on that. Crystal Palace, I think he'll stay in Everton, but
Grealish. The thing is, I think Crystal Palace have got better individuals than Everton right now.
Yeah, I agree, but I think Jack Grealish gets into their side still. I think he could do the as a role, be that sort of little bit of a free spirit on that left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the position. I mean, he played as like a left end, didn't he? So
yeah,
you could potentially do that.
Yeah, I mean, my gut feeling is he probably does go for go to Everton on a permanent basis, takes a wage cut.
Yeah, I think it takes a wage cut, and basically it's it's less pressure, isn't it, at the end of the day as well. So he can be a bit free and whatever, and doesn't have to win a title.
No, and he can just be himself. He's got all the medals at City. And some players are that sort of free spirit. Gascoigne being the obvious sort of example from many years ago. Speaking of Rangers players, or former Rangers players, actually could have won a load if he'd gone to one of the bigger clubs. It was always a spirit.
Oh, Romero scored. Romero scored both of them. 2-2.
Blimey. I've just seen that. I've just flicked off it.
No, I wasn't watching it. I turned it off, actually. Yeah. Literally just turned it off. Well, I mean, that's not Spurs, is it? That's a cracking point in the grand scheme of things, then, isn't it?
Yeah. A point for top. Well, a point at Newcastle for any side is a good point.
Yeah, but I mean a 95th minute equaliser as well. Yeah, from a centre back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cracking point that is.
It really is. I mean, Arsenal we're talking about as possible league winners. I know we got 3 points there, but even a point. I mean, it was important 3 points because we'd obviously lost the previous game to Liverpool. But that's a good point.
It was made more important, wasn't it, because of the previous loss? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But there we go. Well,
interesting night of football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to the game tomorrow?
Yes, I will be going. Yeah, I hope it stops raining.
I was hoping to get a ticket, but I'm just so busy with work. Like I don't often get a chance to go to the Emirates. I was like, oh, there's tickets going, and I looked at my work. I was like, there's just no way I'm getting out of work to get to that game. Just no chance.
If you need things, then message me.
I will do. No, thank you. That's kind. Yeah.
Because even if I'm not going at the same time, I might be able to sort something out.
Oh no, brilliant! I massively appreciate that. As I say, weekends are difficult for me because I have the kids' football, and it's not just my two that are reliant on me. You know, I've got a whole load of kids that I coach both days, but evening games are the ones I try and get to. And I was looking at it going, just looked at my work day and thought it's just not going to happen.
What are we'll have a chat offline. Yeah, we'll have a chat offline.
But hopefully you'll enjoy a good game tomorrow, and hopefully a big Arsenal win for you.
Yeah, hopefully we just. I don't really care, so we just need to get the points and get the hell out of Dodge.
Yep. Yeah, you take 1-0 off someone's arse if necessary.
I couldn't give a crap. Just need to win the game, and if you get a clean sheet, happy days as well. Khalid says, "Do you think Ethan should go on loan in January if he's getting?" Absolutely not. For me, there's 4 competitions. We're in them all, and there's 2 Champions League games in like January, February time. So I think he gets rotated into that now that we don't really need. It's not an absolute must win. If you can't play in the Kyrat game, then there's something wrong, really.
Same with Crystal Palace in the League Cup. You know, I think if even Wanyeri gets in and around 1,000 minutes again this season, which I think is perfectly doable, then I think that's exactly the best thing for his development. I think it is a fair question, but I'm in the same place as you. 4 competitions, you don't weaken your side at all.
No, nobody comes in, and then somebody comes in if you can possibly do it as well. That's
yeah. I think it probably needs an exit, but I think if you can get a central midfielder in, that's the area I'd be looking to get someone in. I think
in place of.
I just think as an extra body in. You know, I think as Moreno and Norgard are your 2 centre midfield backups, essentially. I don't think Moreno will get that many more minutes up front because Jesus I don't see being off in January. That would be probably the player you might want to move on in January if you can. But even then, I think you keep him around because
I don't think that's going to happen. Is it?
Well,
nobody's going to risk it anyway for a reasonable amount in January.
Exactly.
You might get a 15 million euro bid or something like that.
Exactly. Your best scenario for Jesus financially is someone takes his wages off you. On loan, or you get a £10 million bid in, but you're going to have to contribute some of his wages. So you're probably saving £15 million. You just keep Jesus around because if he helps you get in the league with 1 goal, then
it's like, well, doesn't matter. I mean, all right, it's 265 grand a week, but it's been on the wage bill through the whole of his ACL, so it doesn't make any difference, does it?
Yeah, exactly. Which ACL?
Well, exactly. So it's basically more or less 18 months, isn't it?
Exactly. So I think I'm in the same place as you. I wouldn't send Wanyeri out on loan.
And the other thing is, if he actually gets a couple of goals here and there, somebody else might take a punt on him because he's gone to that kind of level. So
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see Wanyeri go out, by the way, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I can't see it happening. Not after he's just signed a new deal as well.
No, I don't think so.
Very surprised.
And I think he'll get the minutes. Unless he does something shocking in training or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's finished as a Desmond at St James's Park. So
yeah, I mean, it was 1 minute ago. I was quite shocked that they equalised, but I'd be absolutely astounded if either team
got a winner. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but there we go. Right, guys. That will be it for this evening. Dom, thank you very much for joining us as ever.
No, pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. We're going to try and do a show on Thursday. I don't know who's available for it, but we're going to try. I'm going to try and do more stuff on my own anyway, because it's a bit of a challenge getting guests at times. So look out for that. But yeah, if you're in the chat in the Twitch, sorry, in the Twitter, then come through and just like on the channel and subscribe to the channel. That
Makes a big difference, so please do that.
yeah, absolutely helps the algorithm. If you just in the comments, whatever, just leave any comments, all good, and we'll reply to any of those. But yeah, in the meantime, it's been Footy Corner. I'm Sparks. We'll see you next time. Good night.